Hello. We are going to be joined by a Ghanaian resident in Ghana who has traveled to Burkina Faso and spoken with the people. When he logs on, we will dive right into the conversation. Thank you.
You can hear me okay?
Yes. Hello and good afternoon. In Ghana, my brother Yao Owusu Echao speaking to us from Aburi, and I'm here in Accra. Brother, how are you doing?
I'm wonderful, fantastic, and great, Brother Jermaine. Thank
Good,
you for asking.
good. Today we're going to talk about Burkina Faso. You say you've been there how many times?
One, two, three, four, 5 times for the year since
Five
February.
times. Okay, since
Yes,
February 2025, and today we're in December. This year you've been there five times.
correct.
Good. Why five times?
Yes, I was there last month. I came back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Brother Jermaine.
Yes,
I
I'm
was
hearing you.
there
Uh-huh.
last. I was there last on the 30th, the 30th of November. I just came back. Today's the
Okay.
8th. Yeah,
Why the interest in
yeah.
Burkina Faso?
Man, very, very good question. Um, Hearing all the things we're hearing about the leadership, what happened, why they did what they did, what they are doing in terms of forming an alliance with two other countries, neighboring countries, in terms of seeking sovereignty, um, food security, just stop being exploited. I said this is what we've been waiting for, a country in Africa that can stand up for itself and want to do better for itself. So I was curious to go and get the pulse for myself. I'm not read about it or hear about it on TV
And what did
or
you
smartphone.
find? When did you find? What did you find when he got on the ground?
Well, first thing was in talking to the people. Once you mention Ibrahim Traore's name, they call him eBay. There is such an elation, happiness, exuberance, excitement. And I didn't take a poll of 1,000 people. But from all the time I've been there since February until I came back November the 30th, I cannot think of one person that has a dissenting voice. Now, that might not be scientific, but I've spoken to about 100 people, uh, business owners, students, workers, and everybody is excited. I don't know where you can get that kind of 100% rating anywhere for any leadership in Africa that you talk
Okay.
to.
Anytime you hear within a country there's such unanimity of following of the leader, and you happen to know that this person was not democratically elected, the question does need to be asked that are these people speaking so positively about him out of fear or retribution, or do you get the impression that it's coming from the heart?
No, clearly I get it. That is coming from it's spontaneous. I'm talking to somebody who I may be familiar with, like let's say an interpreter, and
Uh-huh.
then I'll ask him the question, and just off the top of his head, freely and with exuberance. Because they won't just answer yes or no. They don't just look around their shoulders. They speak and they
Okay.
speak emphatically. So that's why I know it's not coerced, it's not rehearsed. It's very genuine.
Okay. Yeah. Have you met him, Captain Traore?
There's no audio coming at the moment. You
Okay.
spoke, but I didn't hear.
Have you been in your trips? Have you been able to meet Captain Traore in person? Because I hear
Mm.
he's a man on the ground. You still can't hear me?
Uh, no, not clearly. You asked me a question. Please repeat.
Okay. I said, have you met him in your 5 trips to Burkina Faso, Captain Traore?
No, no, I have not.
Okay.
The closest I've been to was met his brother, two of his brothers,
Hmm.
uh, a security team, and his special advisors. No, I've not met him
Okay.
personally.
Now,
Yeah.
uh, uh, so all the stuff that we see on video, he's a man on the ground sitting with people in the village and all those things. Do you get the impression that is staged for propaganda purposes or that is the real him?
Not at all. Not staged at all. Um, it's the real deal. Let me give an example. There's a place in the city, Ouagadougou, where people will come volunteer to make bricks. These bricks will be placed on their national road construction program, which they have a program or a mandate or a desire to build 5,000 kilometers of road per year in the country. That's coming from the leadership. And there's a place where people can go. You can bring a check, money, and say, I want to donate this and to go towards buying cement. Then you have people on the ground who are actually mixing the cement to make the bricks or the blocks to build the roads. And so that's not coerced. When I was there, I met about 11 or 12 young women, and they were showing a check that they probably put together in an amount to give towards going towards buying the cement. That's not coerced. And when you speak with them, they will tell you, this is our country. This is our contribution. Another occasion, you'll see an elderly man riding on a bike and coming towards where this place is, and he'll give, this is my contribution, not money, but this is one bag of cement. I've seen that.
Wow.
And when
Okay.
you speak to people building or mixing the when you see people mixing the cement before it becomes brick, and you talk
Hmm.
to them, that's not coerced. Nobody's putting a gun to their head.
Okay.
That's grassroots. That's
Now,
from the people.
in in Africa, we've seen this before. Okay. Even the Sankara name that preceded him and all that stuff. And many times, somehow, it goes away. Either he gets assassinated or something happens and they become corrupt. When you look forward, based on what you've seen in Burkina Faso, where do you see what do you see on the horizon 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now?
Man, that's a very good question, and I want to be honest, as I always try to be in speaking to you and others. Um, it's like Sankara was there, I think, for 4 years, and they never stopped until they got him.
Yeah.
Gaddafi was there for God knows how many years. The enemies never stopped until they got him. Let
Hmm.
me leave Africa for a second. Fidel Castro, I think, is reportedly they tried to kill 700 times. I
Hmm.
don't know how long Ibrahim Traore will live in his position of leadership,
Hmm.
but as long as he lives, and I believe if we collectively support the movement, support the goodness of what's going on, never mind it's not perfect, but support what is going on, the well-intentioned, the the building of roads, the building of school, making transportation less expensive, hospital available, accessible, buying farm equipments and implements and giving them to the people. Um, if they're doing that, it's up to us to support them as long as we can, while the others who don't want to see this are going to be trying to take him down. So I don't
Yeah.
know how long. I think it's up to us to do our best to make sure he lives as long as he can. But they should have a succession plan. It's not about Ibrahim Traore, honestly. Thomas Sankara showed the way. And a lot of the revolutionary spirit that you're seeing started with him.
Okay.
So when you go to the museum, not the museum, the mausoleum, and you see young children on tour and they're singing songs, that was before Ibrahim Traore. They learned that at an earlier age with the prior movement. So there's
Okay.
that holdover from then. So it's not
Okay.
about one person, it's a movement. And
Okay.
if they build a succession plan, institutionalize what they're trying to do, just like other countries like China, then it will take as long as we can.
Yeah. You mentioned that Sankara, they never stopped until they got him. Gaddafi, Castro.
Yeah.
In many of these situations, there's always a Judas that ends up being used by the external forces, right? When you look at
Yes.
Burkina Faso, do you see an environment conducive of a Judas that would ultimately become the vehicle by which they get him, as in quoting you?
Yeah. Yes. You don't have to look far, Brother Jermaine. They've already tried so many times already.
Hmm.
I've lost count. I think the last count was maybe 15, 16, 17 times.
Okay.
They've tried to kill him. They've offered money, millions, and they haven't been successful. They poisoned him. So it's not about guessing. It's like let's see there's a football game. You have a playbook that has worked in making you a game winner. The people who don't want to see a sovereign Burkina Faso, they have a playbook. They're going to try and try and try because it's not in their interest to see an independent African leader who believes in his people or who wants to do the best for his people. It's not about his own personal gain. They
Hmm.
want to see one or two who make money for themselves and their family. And that's been the playbook. And I give you one example. 2010, I was in Guinea, and there was a young leader, Captain um, that is Kamara,
Hmm.
and he came to power in a similar fashion as Ibrahim Traore, but he was doing well for the people there. They were building roads and schools, and the young people loved him. 2010, I was there. While I was there, his bodyguard, speaking of Judas, shot him in the head, and then ran to the French embassy where he sought asylum. So it's a playbook. There's
Right.
Judas is out scrambling, and they're being
Okay.
encouraged by France, US, UK. Let me call names. Yeah, those who benefit from our position.
Okay. All right. I think it's frozen up a little bit. I'm hoping that you come back. Let me take the moment to ask the next question if you can hear me. Um, okay. Oh boy.
There's a pause. Can you hear
Uh-huh.
me?
There definitely was a pause. Now, Goita in Mali took over the same way. There's this gentleman, the young, tall guy, I've forgotten his name, in Guinea that you mentioned, and also another one in Niger. These are young soldiers that are taking control of their countries. And as far as we know, they're all doing well. But it still doesn't explain why it seemed like Traore at Burkina Faso is a standout among these other three, or at least four of them. What do you attribute that to?
Um, I don't know. Um, maybe is I don't know. Maybe it's his charisma. Maybe they've agreed for him to be the spokesperson for the AES. I've heard that a leader from Mali who's actually like he's the brains, or he's a think tanker
The Goita
behind the
guy in Mali.
scenes. But maybe yes.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe it's a decision. Maybe it's the way that um, Traore has dramatically kicked out France. Maybe it's the way he's engaging his people. Like
Hmm.
he's just a hands-on guy, maybe so the cameras follow him, and then maybe his youth
Yeah,
also is an attractive factor because many of the people follow him are youth, they're young people, and he's
yeah.
like they identify with him and
No,
what's going.
okay.
So that could be one reason. So he's like a rock star, you
Yeah.
see.
You said kicked out France. So when you went there, France is completely gone. You don't see France basically in Burkina Faso.
Say that again.
I said when you mentioned he kicked out France, how absent is France in Burkina Faso right now, based on what you saw?
How what?
How absent, opposite of present, how absent is France? That has he completely kicked them out? Has Traore completely kicked out France? I heard you say he kicked out France. Oh boy. Hopefully it'll come back soon.
I say he kicked out France. Can you
Uh-huh.
hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. I was saying that how absent is France in Burkina Faso?
Okay. So it would be fair to say when he kicked out the military base,
Uh-huh.
the military presence is gone.
Okay.
That's what we refer to. In terms of administration or influence on administration of Burkina Faso, not in the picture. So they've kicked them out administratively as well.
But their businesses still exist.
In
Like,
terms of people wanting to come, just citizens,
mhm,
people are free to come from all over the world to visit Burkina Faso. I
mhm.
don't think they stop French people from visiting or,
Right.
or, or, or anybody else. But in terms
Okay.
of the influence that France has behind the scenes,
Okay.
as well of military presence, that's no longer there. That's
That's
gone.
no longer there. Okay. All right. Do you think it is possible to have a Traore in the Ghanaian system where you need to go through the political primaries, party primaries to become the leader of the country? Okay, it's beginning to freeze more often now. Can you hear me?
And
Hello?
they don't come about every day. Like Kwame
Yeah. No, okay.
Nkrumah,
Let me
right?
let me ask the question again. You live in
Um,
Ghana, you live in
people
Ghana, and you know the political
have
process.
to be ready
Hello?
to receive
Can you
a
repeat that? We're
leader of
breaking up.
Ferrari or Sankara. I don't think so. I think we're angry. I don't think we're
Go ahead. Repeat what you just said. Can you hear me?
you said you're going to ask the question again, so you can ask it and then make sure
Okay.
I'll answer it.
I'm saying that is it
I can hear
is
you a little bit.
okay.
It's breaking up,
All right. Can the
but I can answer
Ghanaian
the question.
you live in Ghana now, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I
Can
live
the
in
Ghanaian
Ghana.
can the
This
Ghanaian
December 9th.
okay, let me ask, can the Ghanaian political system, as you know it today, produce another Traore, a Traore?
The answer is the political system is broken in terms of how it functions. So it's not a political system that will bring a Chari. It's the brokenness of the whole system that will bring someone like him.
Okay. So you're saying that without, if let's say Jermaine Nkrumah has the heart and everything like a Traore, and I wanted to lead Ghana, is it a possible pathway for me to get there?
I didn't hear the question totally.
I said, if there is a Traore somewhere in Ghana
Mhm.
that wants to become the president of Ghana, is there a realistic pathway through the current political system?
The answer is no. I don't believe the people are disappointed enough or angry enough or as the Burkinabe people are. They were fed up with the blatant corruption, with the lack of progress and development. And they've seen what happened to Sankara, what he did in the 4 years that he was allowed to rule his country. And in a recent memory, we have Gaddafi, what that country was and what they did to dethrone him. So all this collective memory made the Burkina Faso people angry and disappointed, and they don't want any more of this so-called democratic way of doing things. So it's not working for them.
Okay,
Ghana still believes in it. Ghana
okay,
is not angry enough.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, see, the reason why I ask is that people have been talking, there's been chatter. Maybe we need a coup, maybe, but let's face it, when there are, for every 10 coup leaders who grab power by the gun, probably 2%, I mean, two of them will have the heart and the genuineness to be a Traore or a Gaddafi or any of those, because we've seen it elsewhere. We've seen Biya take power in Cameroon. He's there now for a million years. Same with Museveni in Uganda. You see what I mean? And so in Africa, as we're trying to navigate, is it military or is it democracy? How do we go? Where do we go?
Brother Jermaine, I think looking back, let's say since the 60s, in Ghana's case, since 1957, we tried an experiment called democracy, called independence. And 50 years, 60 years, we have the good fortune or the experience to look back and see what has transpired. And we got to see that we don't have any control. We got to see that these leaders were actually puppets. They were put in positions to carry on the same old colonial plans. So we didn't never had a chance to practice independence for long. Kwame Nkrumah was doing a great job by all accounts, and then you know what happened. So we have the good fortune to look back now and say, this is not working for us. We need something else. And it's up to the people
Mhm.
just to overthrow the government and then replace it and then replace it with the same mechanism that have failed, that are broken, that's not working, that doesn't empower the people. It doesn't make sense. You need a total overhaul.
Okay. I don't
And that's what's
know.
happening over the last few years in Africa. We put black faces in position to replace the colonial.
Right. So Malawi and I think Cape Verde also, some of these countries, hang on. They are some of them are making it work within the democratic environment. Senegal also. Now, the Ghana example that you gave, we've seen military leaders who overthrew civilian government and stayed for an extended period of time. We've seen a Champon. He overthrew Buzia in what, 1972 and stayed till 78. That's 6 years. We've seen Rawlins overthrew Liman in 1979 and also stayed for a long time, had the opportunity to make good, right? Now, when you look at these leaders, one, juxtapose their performance, if you can remember, juxtapose their performance against that of Traore, and then also juxtapose their performance in terms of development and all against the sustained democratic environment that we've had in Ghana. If you do that, where would you be inclined to go, either the dictatorship route or the democratic route?
Well, again, I haven't seen any democracy. I haven't seen any democracy. I've heard the talk of it, but in practice, it hasn't occurred. What we've had is replacing black faces, for the most part, in a system designed by the colonial masters. So you're doing the same thing. It's just different face. So it doesn't fit the population. For example, economically, we still exported our raw materials just like we did under colonialism. We did not build factories to produce, provide value added on. We kept doing the same thing. So how do you expect a different results? We never had a chance to practice independence. We were never independent.
Okay, hang on. A quick
Very few
interjection.
countries were independent.
Wait, a quick
So,
interjection.
and let's take, let me give you an example. Look at South Africa.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Okay, see the current system in Ghana right now, okay? The president of Ghana, do you think anybody will try to stop him if he decides that, no, no more exporting of cocoa? We're going to add value to all our
If I
raw
think,
materials before we send it. Do you think anybody will have a problem with that? Did you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
World Economic System. Yes, I'm answering. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, good.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
And yes,
I'm listening.
yes, I heard your question. And I said the answer is an emphatic yes. Someone will definitely stop him because have you heard of the term dialectical? Do you know what that means?
I didn't hear you. It was
I'm
breaking.
asking you a question.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
Brother Jermaine?
Yes, I didn't hear the question. He said, "Do I know
Yeah, I
what?"
was
Oh boy.
okay. You asked him the question if
Uh-huh.
it's possible, if President Obama wanted to, let's say, stop outsourcing or stop exporting raw materials and build it up here, if anyone
Mhm.
would stop him. That's what you asked me, correct?
Right, right.
Is that what you asked me?
That's what I asked you.
Right.
Yes.
And my answer is an emphatic yes. And my
Okay.
yes, and I answered yes. And my question to you was, have you heard of the term dialectical?
No, I have. Well, I've heard it. I don't know what it means.
That word dialectical. Okay, so Walter Rodney, who wrote the book How Europe Underdeveloped Africa, he used that term throughout the book. And he said there is a connection, a dialectical relationship between those who are in power or the oppressor and the oppressed, the colonial masters and the colonies. Their development is a result of our underdevelopment. So if we try to develop our economies, it's to the disadvantage of the colonial masters.
My brother,
So
my
they allow
brother,
that.
my brother. We
Is
know
this
this. We
there's this
know
the
this.
relationship that you cannot escape.
Hang on. We know this. What I'm trying to say is that don't they? Isn't there a part of us that are willing to play along this arrangement, and that we don't fight it enough at the leadership? Because I don't see how they will just throw bombs and invade us just because we wanted to add value to our raw material. I think they put us in compromising position, and we easily bite the apple. So, if you, the first place for me to look is in the mirror. It is ourselves. I think it's time. It's long past time we start blaming those people and looking at us. That's the point I'm trying to say. What's your position on that?
Okay. Okay. So let's use examples. Let's use a recent example of Magufuli from Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
When he came to power, became president, he tried to do a lot of the things that we hope our leaders would do.
Mm-hmm.
Building roads, building hospitals. A matter of fact, when he won the election and they wanted to have a big party, he said, no, let that money be used elsewhere. These are the things that we want, correct? A good
Right.
guy.
Right.
When they had COVID, he said, no, I'm not so sure there's a COVID. So he took an independent position on things. He didn't borrow any money from the IMF. Things that we say, these are them squeezed outside. We're not as independent or think. And what happened to him? What happened to people like him when they tried an independent path? They tried to do things that would benefit their people economically when they try to stand up on their own. So no, those people will not allow. We again, when we come to, we using the same mechanism, the same system that oppresses us. The system has to change. You
Okay.
can't push a foot around it.
I
You
get
can't
it.
you can't dabble with it.
I,
You have to do what China. Yeah.
okay. You see, the thing about absolute power, right? For any leader, if you get a Traore,
Mm.
great. But if you get a greedy bastard, good luck. So my point is the example that you gave with Magufuli in I think Tanzania, right? Well,
Yeah.
maybe he didn't build his people. We started this conversation with Burkina Faso when he said the people they speak, they're exuberant, they're not cursed, they follow their leader 100%. Nothing is staged. If I think if that same environment
Yeah.
existed in Tanzania, the external forces would have not succeeded so easily, don't you think? So, in other words, building the people, don't just roads. Let the people have faith in you, believe in you. That may be the first step, don't you think?
Well, we have a saying in Jamaica. I'm from born in Jamaica. It says,
Mm-hmm.
"Puss and dog don't have the same luck." A cat not luck. So I can't project that if someone did what Harry did in another country, that he's gonna. It's because he won't be successful or he'll be successful. We can't. There's so many factors.
Yeah,
You have to concede that.
yeah,
The fact that had good leaders who've tried to come to the forefront and they were not successful for whatever reasons. Maybe they were betrayed at the early age. We don't know what happened where they allowed to
yeah,
bring their ideas. So it's projection. But I do believe that we have to learn from the lessons that we've had from Grenada,
yeah,
Cuba, from China. You think China is perfect? They have leaders, they have corruption, but how do they deal with it?
yeah,
You
yeah,
see, so there's no perfect, but everything is from the history. Each country is going to have its own dynamics, and
yeah.
based on the dynamics, it's not easy. A revolution is not easy. Breaking out of the system is not easy. Let me give you an example. When Iran tried to Iran, yeah, tried to do their own thing, what does the world financial system cut them off, freeze all their assets? In terms of Cuba, they blockade the entire island for years. And it's not
I,
Cuba's
I
tried their
trust
best,
me.
but they would have been better without these kind of economic sanctions. There's no doubt about that.
Trust me. I think if there's one thing that we both agree on, it is the fact that, of course, the external forces they have their interests and they're willing to do anything to keep things the same way. Where we differ is, I think, that the problem is first with us, and I think if we're bright enough, we're smart enough, we're strategic enough that if we put our minds to it, we should be able to counter whatever the external forces are doing, short of them dropping bombs on us and annihilating us. If it's just human relations, I think we're advanced enough in our thinking now that if we put our minds where it needs to be, we should be able to counter them. And so, on that note, we've run out of time, and I really want to thank you for giving us the lowdown on the ground in Burkina Faso.
Brother Jermaine, I want to say something real quick on that note.
Uh-huh.
When you say we've never had a chance as a continent, 54 countries, to come together. We've done things unilaterally or bilaterally with the colonizers. A country comprised of different tribes, different people together. They're united. Africa is an amalgamation of nations. We're not united. You cannot fight these people 1-1-2-2. We have to unite, and that hasn't happened yet. So it's not that we failed, but the
Yeah.
unity is essential.
Yeah.
And if
I
we
agree.
didn't run out of time, I will give you an example where we got and conceded. Yeah.
I think it boils down to mindset because, hey, Southeast Asia, there are various countries just like us, but somehow I think believe me, I'm a consummate advocate of African unity, but I think the mindset piece is sometimes we don't pay enough attention to it. Us, our mindset. And on that note, thank you
The
so much,
education,
my brother.
we're colonized.
Yeah,
Our education is colonized.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. All right. Thank you, my brother. Thanks for
All
speaking
right,
with
brother Jermaine. We'll see each other soon.